Commander Velrix pressed his four-fingered hand against the cold observation panel of the Star Weaver reconnaissance vessel. His pale blue skin reflected the dim light of distant stars as the ship glided silently through the outer edge of an unremarkable solar system. The Galactic Consortium had sent his squadron to catalog the sector, a routine mission that his species, the Thalorians, had performed thousands of times across the galaxy. "Commander, we are detecting unusual electromagnetic emissions from the third planet," announced Science Officer Karana, her elongated head tilted toward the sensor display. Her large black eyes widened as data streamed across her screen. Velrix moved toward her station with the fluid grace typical of his species. "Unusual in what manner?" "The planet appears to be broadcasting signals into space. Primitive radio waves, mostly. But the volume is extraordinary." Kirina's slender fingers danced across her console. "Initial scans indicate liquid water, breathable atmosphere, and temperatures suitable for carbon-based life." The commander felt a flutter of excitement in his chest cavity. Discovering a new civilization was rare these days. Most species had already been cataloged by the consortium over the past 50,000 years. Finding an unknown world with active technology meant commendations, perhaps even a promotion to the fleet command. "Take us closer," Velrix ordered. "Engage stealth protocols. We observe first, make contact later according to standard procedure." The Star Weavers slipped past the system's outer planets, moving like a ghost through the darkness. As they approached the third world, the blue and green sphere filled their viewing screens. White clouds swirled across its surface in beautiful patterns. From a distance, it looked peaceful, even inviting. "Beginning detailed planetary scan," Kirina said. Her voice carried a note of professional detachment that Velrix appreciated. Good scientists did not let emotion cloud their observations. The first warning came 3 minutes into the scan. Kirin's breath caught in her throat. She ran the numbers again, then a third time. "Commander, I am detecting over 8 billion individual life signatures of the dominant species." Velrix blinked all 3 of his eyes in sequence. 8 billion? On a single planet? That cannot be correct. "Run the diagnostic again. I have run it 4 times already." Kirina's voice trembled slightly. "The reading is accurate. 8 billion intelligent organisms occupying one world." The commander gripped the edge of her console. The Thalorian homeworld supported barely 200 million of his people, and that was considered a dense population. 8 billion was beyond comprehension. It suggested a species that bred without restriction, that consumed resources without concern, that expanded without hesitation. "What else can you tell me about them?" Velrix asked. Kirina pulled up biological data gathered from intercepted broadcasts and surface scans. They call themselves humans. They are bipedal, warm-blooded, and remarkably adaptable to varied environments. They inhabit nearly every landmass on their planet, from frozen poles to scorching deserts. "Impressive range tolerance," Velrix admitted. "Continue." "Commander, their atmospheric composition includes traces of radioactive isotopes that do not occur naturally." Kirina paused, checking her readings. "They appear to have detonated nuclear weapons on their own planet, multiple times. The isotope distribution suggests over 2,000 separate nuclear explosions throughout their recent history." The bridge fell silent. Every officer stopped their work and turned toward the science station. Nuclear weapons were known throughout the galaxy, but no species in the consortium had ever used them on their own world. Such weapons were reserved for asteroid defense or the most desperate of interstellar conflicts. "They bombed themselves?" asked Navigation Officer Threx, his voice barely a whisper. "It appears so. Some detonations occurred in population centers. Millions of their own kind were killed instantly." Kirina's hands were shaking now. "And, Commander, that is not the worst of it." Velrix felt cold spreading through his body. What could possibly be worse? They are still pointing these weapons at each other, right now. Thousands of nuclear devices aimed at their own cities, ready to launch at a moment's notice. They live under constant threat of self-annihilation, and yet they continue their daily activities as if this is normal. The commander took a step backward. In all his years of exploration, he had never encountered anything like this. A species that developed weapons capable of ending their own existence, and then just lived with that reality. It suggested a psychology so alien, so fundamentally different from anything in the consortium, that he could not begin to comprehend it. "Pull up their historical records," Velrix ordered. "I want to understand how they became this way." The next hour brought horror after horror. Kirana presented evidence of continuous warfare spanning their entire recorded history. Humans had fought each other over territory, resources, religious beliefs, political ideologies, and sometimes for reasons that defied any rational explanation. They had developed increasingly efficient methods of killing their own kind, from simple bladed weapons to automated systems capable of eliminating thousands per minute. They experienced a conflict approximately 80 of their years ago that killed over 70 million of their species, Kirana reported. Both sides considered this a victory. 70 million dead and both sides claimed victory? Velrix repeated. How is that possible? The losing side was eliminated entirely. The winners suffered tremendous casualties but survived. Kirana shook her head. Commander, their capacity for organized violence is unlike anything in our records. They form massive social structures specifically designed to wage war. They train their young to fight from early ages. They celebrate warriors in their culture and pass down tales of great battles as positive traditions. Weapons Officer Chandri, who had been silent until now, spoke up. What is their current military capability? Kirana accessed more data. The color drained from her face, which was remarkable given that Thylorians were already quite pale. They have developed weapon systems capable of engaging targets in their planet's orbit. Their detection technology can identify objects approaching their world from significant distances. And they have placed weapons platforms in space itself. They have orbital military capability? Chandri asked. Multiple nations possess it. And Commander, they have sent members of their species to their moon and returned them safely. They have deployed robotic explorers throughout their solar system. Their technological advancement, despite their violent nature, is proceeding at an unprecedented rate. Velrix walked slowly to the center of the bridge. His mind raced through the implications. A species of 8 billion, bred in constant conflict, possessing nuclear weapons and space travel, with a psychological disposition to use those weapons even against themselves. If such a species ever united and turned its attention outward into the galaxy, the consequences would be catastrophic. Show me more, he commanded. Show me their biology. The biological analysis was perhaps the most disturbing of all. Humans were pursuit predators who had evolved to chase prey across vast distances until the prey collapsed from exhaustion. Their bodies could heal from injuries that would kill any species in the consortium. They could survive the loss of limbs, organs, and massive blood loss. Their immune systems actively hunted foreign organisms and destroyed them. They consume the flesh of other species regularly, Kirana noted. They have domesticated numerous other life forms, specifically to kill and eat them. And some humans voluntarily engage in activities that damage their own bodies for entertainment. What kind of activities? Velrix asked. They jump from great heights with nothing but fabric to slow their fall. They fight each other in organized competitions. They inject toxic substances into their bodies for pleasure. They explore the deepest parts of their oceans and climb their tallest mountains despite the extreme danger. Why would any rational being do such things? I do not believe rationality is their primary motivator, Commander. They appear to operate on a combination of logic and something they call emotion. This emotional processing leads them to make decisions that prioritize abstract concepts like honor, love, revenge, and pride over their own survival. Velrix thought about this. A species that did not prioritize survival. A species that would fight and die for ideas rather than physical necessities. Such beings would be impossible to negotiate with using standard consortium protocols. They could not be reasoned with through threat of force, because they did not fear death the way other species did. "Commander," Threx called from navigation, "I am detecting something unusual." Several of their orbital platforms appear to be adjusting their orientation toward us. Impossible. We are running full stealth protocols. Nevertheless, their sensors are sweeping our location. I believe they have detected our presence. Velrix felt his heart begin to pound. How? Our technology is millennia beyond theirs. Karina ran a quick analysis. Their detection methods are crude, but comprehensive. They flood space with electromagnetic radiation and analyze the returns. Our stealth protocols absorb most frequencies, but they are broadcasting on spectrums we did not think to account for. They are actively searching for anything out of place. The commander made a decision. Move us to a safer distance. Now, the Star Weaver engaged its engines and pulled back from the planet. As they moved, Velrix watched the beautiful blue world shrink on his screen. It looked so peaceful from space, so serene. But he now knew the truth of what lived on that surface. "Commander," Karina said quietly, "what do we report to the consortium?" Velrix considered the question carefully. Protocol demanded honest assessment of all discoveries. He would file a complete report detailing everything they had learned. But he also knew that this discovery changed everything. The galaxy had operated under the assumption that intelligent species eventually evolved past violence, that civilization naturally led to peace. The humans proved that assumption wrong. They had reached the stars while still fighting among themselves. They had developed weapons of mass destruction and kept using them. They had spread across their entire world and thrived despite everything. And now they were looking upward, searching the sky for others. "Open a priority channel to Consortium Command," Velrix ordered. "Encrypt it with our highest security protocols." The communications officer complied. "Channel open, Commander." Velrix took a deep breath. "This is Commander Velrix of the Thylorian reconnaissance vessel Starweaver. We have discovered a previously unknown intelligent species in Sector 749. I am issuing an immediate universal distress signal and recommending the following actions." He paused, gathering his thoughts. First, this sector must be quarantined immediately. No consortium vessels should approach within 5 light years of this system. Second, all information regarding consortium space lanes, populated worlds, and military capabilities must be protected with extreme measures. These beings must not learn of our existence until we have developed strategies to address them. Third, and most critically, the consortium must begin preparing for the possibility that these humans will find us on their own. They are expanding rapidly. Their technology advances at a rate we have never seen before. Based on their current trajectory, they will develop faster-than-light capability within the next few of their centuries. Perhaps sooner. Velrix looked at his crew. Every face showed the same expression of fear and disbelief. We have encountered many species in our exploration of the galaxy. We have found peaceful scholars, aggressive empires, and everything between. But we have never found anything like humans. They are survivors of the most extreme kind. They fight, they die, they suffer, and they keep going. They turn every obstacle into a challenge, and every challenge into an opportunity. When they come, and they will come, we must be ready. Because they will not stop. They never stop. It is not in their nature to stop. The commander ended his transmission and watched the blue planet disappear from his screen as the Star Weaver accelerated away from the solar system. Behind him, his crew worked in silence, each processing what they had learned. Somewhere on that distant world, 8 billion humans continued their lives, unaware that they had been observed. They fought their small wars, loved their families, built their machines, and dreamed of the stars. And across the galaxy, an ancient and powerful civilization received a distress signal and began to feel something they had not experienced in millennia: fear.